Hello, and it's that time again. It's time for Macanori. And as usual, I'm reading from my collection of urban short stories, Tales from a Scary Girl, Darkly Sinister. And this story is called Dying to be Scared, and it's inspired by an escape room that I did. But this escape room is what it'd be like if I designed it. So make yourself comfortable and prepare to be scared. Try an escape room, they said. It'll be scary, they said. Oh, I sure hope so. It's not that I'm nervous or scared or anything, because I'm not. It's just that I so desperately want to be scared that I will pretty much try anything. I was so jealous when they all came back saying how they'd been scared out of their wits. I had to give it a go. I had to feel what they felt. I yearned to feel what they felt. Trouble was, I didn't want to do what everyone else had done. Couldn't really, as I knew it wouldn't hit the spot. For one thing, I don't follow the crowd. Never have, never will. For another thing, I don't scare. I had to find something that stood a chance of scaring me, even if only in a small way. I so wanted to feel that adrenaline surge, that dopamine release. When I saw the invitation to enter the dungeons of my mind where only the bravest and strongest will survive, I decided there and then I was in. I'd heard of the author, Clouthier B. Starn. I'd have had to been in a coma not to, but I'd read none of its books. I say it because no one knows if C.B. Starn is male or female. I tend to roll my eyes at pretentious crap like that, and as I stand here now, I wonder if I will meet the elusive author when I survive the escape room. When I arrived here at the abandoned asylum, surrounded by razor wire and patrolled by guard dogs and a caretaker whose friends had resided inside him for far too many years, part of me considered turning back, especially when he shook his head and engaged in a conversation I wasn't party to when I showed him my invitation. But I didn't. My desire to feel what everyone else felt drove me forward. I thought the word dungeon on the invitation was just a way of making it sound that much more sinister, but as I stand and look down the dimly lit steps into the gaping darkness at the bottom, I shiver, the hairs on the back of my arms deciding now is a good time to alert me to what may lie beneath. I like that feeling of apprehension, the start of the journey of terror, and my desire to see what C.B. Starn has created drives me forward. After all, I've been waiting a long, long time for something, anything to scare me, and I mean really scare me. Maybe, just maybe, this will be it. I take a step down and almost tumble to the bottom as my foot slips on the mildewed steps. I grab the handrail and right myself, my hand hovering over my chest as I take a deep breath and try and slow my racing heart. Calm again, I descend, with care, into the darkness. I have to say I am impressed at the level of detail the illustrious author has gone to. The dark slabs of stone making up the floor and walls run with rank water, allowing slime to breed in the flow. The damp and musty smell emanating from within hints at decaying earth and the secrets it holds. As I step forward, what look like old-fashioned torches, wooden handles with paraffin-soaked rags around the tops, light the way, casting an eerie yellow glow down what now reveals itself to be a long corridor. There are doors down one side, and as I move forward, wondering when my host will materialise, I notice that each one is different. I can hear crying coming from behind one of them, and my instincts draw me to it. I press my ear to the flaking red paint, and sure enough, there are sobs coming from behind it. "Hello, are you okay?" "Hello," a small voice comes back, the voice of a child. "What's wrong? Who put you in here?" I rattle the handle, but the door is locked. "I always come here," came the girlish voice. "Who locked you in?" "Come sit with me for a while. I can help you," she says. "Help me with what?" My sentence hangs as the sound of a howl echoes down the corridor. As awful as this sounds, my desire draws me towards the howling, so real, so close, and I leave the little girl to her sorrow. I'll come back, I think. Maybe. The howling continues, and I feel the goosebumps erupt across my skin as I draw close to the next door, a rusted iron one, similar to the old prison doors, complete with a Judas hole. Unable to stop myself, not that I want to, I draw close and reach out to slide the window cover aside. Through it, I can see the night sky speckled with stars, a full moon illuminating what appears to be a field or a moor. "Quick, we have to move!" An agitated voice catches my attention, and I press forward, looking to my left. I see two figures dressed in walking gear and thick coats come into view, their breath pluming in the cold air. "I'm tired and my knee really hurts," says one of the duo as they walk past me and move away. We can't stop, he'll catch us, can't you hear it? I know, but I can't. You go, Al. No, I'm not leaving you. Ah! I jump as they scream, a deep guttural howl so close that I turn, expecting to see it behind me. Hey, this way, I call and try and open the door, but again it is locked. They don't hear me anyway. It's as though they are in a film I'm watching. Oh my God, one of them says as they both back away. I turn to the left again as I hear heavy breathing coming from next to me, followed by the stench of fetid breath. I gag and clamp my hand over my mouth, unable to tear my gaze away, as a huge wolf pads into view, its eyes red, its teeth bared, its intent clear. Over here, the uninjured walker says, brandishing a branch at the beast, which stops and sits down on its haunches. I watch as the two walkers, for reasons unknown to me, seem to relax. I watch as the wolf hunkers down, preparing itself. Run! I scream, uselessly of course, for several reasons, and I stare breath held as the wolf launches itself at the one with the branch, pinning him to the ground before ripping his throat out. The injured one is backing away towards me, blocking my view. I jump away from the door as his body slams into it and his screams echo down the corridor. I creep forward again and look through the window, trying to keep my distance. I can't see anything, nor hear anything. I draw a little closer and come onto my tiptoes so I can see some of what lies directly behind the door. Two legs come into my line of sight, one of them twitching every so often. They jolt and start moving as though being dragged. I scream. I can't help it. The body stops and I hold my breath, not daring to move. Hearing nothing, I lift one foot to start my retreat when a red eye appears at the window. I scream again, losing my footing and landing hard on the wet, slimy floor. I stare, my heart racing, my adrenaline pumping, my body shaking as the wolf hurls its weight against the door, stone chips falling to the floor as it does so. Every so often it looks at me through the window before bringing its snout to the hole and sniffing the air. All I can think is I need to close the window, to block its view. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. I ease myself along the rancid floor, and then slide myself up the wall to standing. My hands shaking, I slowly reach out and place my fingers against the hatch. Quick or slow, decisions. To hell with it, I say, and shove the hatch across, sealing the scene again. All becomes calm. I bend forward, resting my hands on my knees as I try and calm myself and regain composure. The adrenaline is flowing, the excitement building. I smile. A movement to my left catches my eye, and I turn my head to see with whom I now share this dark, dank space. I relax and exhale as relief floods through me. Is it the white coat that calms me? Is it the sight of a man rather than a creature? To be honest, I don't care. This could be my host at last. I plaster a smile on my face as I stare at the back of this man, a doctor perhaps. Why else would he be wearing a white coat? Hello, excuse me, I say, and the man raises his head but keeps his back to me. He does, however, drop his hands to his sides. I step forward, hand outstretched, ready to introduce myself, when the light from a lamp catches whatever is in his left hand, sending a harsh flash into my eyes, and I shy away. He turns, and my voice catches in my throat as my gaze settles on the metal object clutched in his fist. A shiny metal object with a dangerous edge. A scalpel. I back away, my gaze now fixed on his face. A grin decorates his angular features as he looks up at me, his chin tucked into his chest, a manic look in his eyes. He doesn't follow me, though. Instead, he stops outside a new door and reaches his hand towards it and gestures for me to open it. I shake my head, not trusting any words to come out, but I stop my retreat. I squint in the half light from the lantern. Is that blood I can see speckling the front of his coat? For some stupid reason, I lean forward, angling my head for a better look. He grabs me by the throat and drags me forward until we are face to face, until I can smell the stale sweat and death that clings to his clothing, until I can see deep into his eyes that look through me, eyes that look past me, eyes that look at something else, something I could be, something he wants me to be. He forces me forward, the door swinging back under my weight and crashing against the wall. I struggle to keep upright as this man, who doesn't look capable of lifting much, drags me across the room and throws me into a metal chair. I cry out as my spine connects with the unyielding metal, and I close my eyes to quell the dizziness resulting from the back of my head slamming against the headrest. Get off me! What are you doing? I say as I feel restraints tightening around my ankles and try to kick out, but I am held firm. I reach forward, intent on freeing myself, intent on getting out of here. Oomph. My resilience is met with a punch to the sternum, which sends me crashing against the back of the chair, winding me. I struggle against him, but his slightness is deceiving, and he easily overpowers me and straps my wrist down. He yanks my hair and pinions my head so he can secure a strap around my forehead, holding me at such an angle to expose my neck, while still enabling me to see straight ahead. He stands before me now and cackles, the laughter sending shivers through me. My eyes, wide and staring, are fixed on the scalpel, which now dances before my face. Before we begin, he says, his voice rasping, I'd like to introduce you to some of my friends. He steps out of my field of vision, bowing as he does so, and I scream. Oh shit, no, let me go. This time, though, my scream isn't a reaction to the pain he has inflicted. It is a precursor to what is to come. Before me, mounted on the wall like game, hang the severed heads of 6 people. I vomit, the restraints preventing me from leaning forward. I can feel it dribbling down my chin and have to spit it out to empty my mouth to abort a replay. The sinew and tissue hang from the base of each neck as though the head has been torn from the body, the look in their now glassy eyes making me shudder. At the centre of this macabre display hangs a board still bare, except for the plaque at its base, a plaque engraved with my name. Let me go now. This is not what I signed up for. People know where I am. I will be missed. I let my monologue trail off. He isn't listening. He doesn't care. Time for some fun, he says. Ow! I pull away as I feel a scratch on my neck, followed by some pressure and an acute burning sensation. I shake my head as my vision clouds, and I can feel drool form in the corners of my mouth. My body goes limp, like jelly. The only thing holding me upright are the restraints. I fight against my closing eyelids, but have no choice but to succumb to the darkness. I blink rapidly and try to pull away from the harsh light burning its mark into my corneas. Ah, good. You're awake. It's better for you to be awake. For me, anyway, I hear him say. I try and speak, but I can't. I have something stuffed into my mouth, something which tastes of a familiar smell. Clothes. I need you awake, dearie, but I need peace for my work, he says and pats me on the forehead. I try to pull away from him, his touch making me shudder, but I can't. I remain subdued, head, wrists and ankles. One thing is new, I realise, and try to curl in on myself as he traces his finger along my torso, over my pubic area and under and down my left leg. I am naked. No clothes, no underwear, and no shoes. I try to cry out, forgetting my clove-sodden gag, and almost swallow the cloth as I inhale. My gag reflex kicks in as my body tries to clear the blockage in my throat, and tears stream from the corners of my eyes, blurring my vision. Now, dearie, I don't want you dying on me. Not yet. It would spoil my fun, he says, and plucks the rag from my mouth. I cough and gasp for air at the same time, exacerbating my coughing fit. He doesn't offer me water. He doesn't offer me assistance. He simply waits until I am calm again. Barely have I brought my breathing back under control than he shoves the cloth back into my mouth. And now to begin, he says, and my eyes widen at the sight of the raised scalpel glinting in the glare. I feel the incision start around my left nipple, and I cry out into the rag and try to twist my body away from him, away from the scalpel, away from his torture. All I can do is watch, in the tiny mirror he has erected for just such a purpose. I fight against my body's reaction of creating black and white dots before my eyes. I have to see. I watch as he slowly cuts away and removes each of my nipples. I watch as a smile spreads across his face. I watch as he turns and picks up a tub of white crystals and rubs a pinch into my flesh where my nipples once were. It is here I cease to watch, for tears fill my eyes and I try to howl against the pain, almost choking on the rag again. This time he doesn't help me, though. This time he is focused on rubbing salt into my wounds. I fight to cough the rag out of my throat as the nerve endings in my torso go numb. I feel him stop rubbing and I relax, but only for a moment, the moment it takes for him to pick up his scalpel and start working again. I am crying now as I mentally follow the strokes of his scalpel, part of my brain curious to know what he is doing, part of my brain never wanting to know. I will my nerves to numb, I will my senses to shut down. Then it stops. I open my eyes and feel my face relax. I hadn't even realised I was tensing it up. I'm feeling woozy and my unsevered nerve endings inform me I am losing blood. This only serves to kickstart my adrenaline and make my heart pump faster, fight or flight, which is not what I need. I close my eyes and focus, intent on survival, my basic human instinct, and will my heart to slow down, will my body to respond. Just as I think I am taking control, I hear a switch being flicked and then a rasping noise, staccato, as though something is trying to start. My body responds before my brain, adrenaline pumps again and my heart thuds in my chest. Something wet lands with a slap on my cheek, making me jump. I open my eyes and stare straight up at the rotating blade of the circular saw. Again, I try to pull away, try to curl up and make my body as small as possible, try to get out of the way of the saw, but I can't. I am bound too tightly, yet still I try. It is human nature. 1,000 thoughts are racing through my mind as he reaches up and drags the saw away from my head, down my body to my waist. My gaze follows him, and I cannot even contemplate what he's going to do until he moves the saw to my left, and then I know. I go to ball my hand into a fist, but he stops me. Ah! I howl and gasp for air, choking on the gag as he hammers a nail through the back of my hand into the block of wood I hadn't noticed he'd put there. The trauma makes the muscles and tendons release and my fingers splay out. The choking means my attention is now elsewhere. That's all he needs. He has me in position. Before I can process what is happening, he pulls the saw down and very slowly, very carefully, he starts to cut through my fingers. My eyes roll back in my head and nausea sweeps through me as I feel the saw juddering briefly against my bones. I try to open my mouth and gag as my body tries to expel the rag and the vomit that has been triggered. Black and white dots form before my eyes and the sound of the saw takes on that hollowness that all things do just before you faint. As the sounds in the room get further away and the white spiralling starts against the black background of my vision, I am vaguely aware that he has moved further down my body to my feet. An hour later, the doctor steps back from his masterpiece and admires his work. 7 heads now adorn his wall. 7 heads for 7 sins. Envy comes in many guises, and a comeuppance is always due. Wishing to be scared, wanting more than anything to feel what others feel, has its price. In his book, anyway. He sits down in front of his computer and takes down the invitation. His party is over. For now. I'll see you next week on Makanori. Bye-bye.